if they're yelling and then we in turn yell and we're all up in arms, then what ends up happening is we escalate them further, which is the furthest from our goal. Our goal is to calm them down.
Parents, guess what? There is a formula that you can use to defuse a meltdown while it's happening. Lafaya Mitchell is with us today. She's the creator of the Lafaya Way and a licensed marriage and family therapist. And she's here to share with us what this formula is. Lafaya, is this something that you've created and discovered through the work that you've done all these years?
This came about in my research and my journey and goal to provide effective treatment for children who are on the autism spectrum. And most of the time they're deemed either impossible to treat or at least excessively difficult to treat. And what I wanted to do was come up with some easy to use formulas for families so that they had tangibles when they're in those moments of that meltdown, because that's something that I really didn't find in all of the research that I was doing. Now, in this particular case, when we're dealing with step 3 of my philosophy, which is to react according to your truest intentions, then you are being true to what your core desires are. I highly recommend that you watch our other 2 videos, which speak to finding your calm and understanding the real truth, because reacting according to your truest intentions falls in line with how you get to those other 2 areas as well.
Exactly, Lafaya. And I think those are great videos for parents to watch so they really get an understanding of the whole process here. So when we talk about step 3, reacting according to your truest intentions, how does that play into the formula that you've created?
Reacting according to your truest intentions is being very aware of what your truest goals are in your interactions with your kids. We want to think about those things that in a moment when we're not really upset, how would we want our children to feel? So we're looking for our children to feel confident, loved, cared for, right? All of these wonderful things. And usually at our core, we want to have peace in our household, and all of these things. So when we start to consider reacting according to your truest intentions, then you have to come up with languaging to be able to address difficult moments and tough issues that will still be reflective of your truest intentions. This is a key way to be able to de-escalate a child when you're reacting according to your truest intentions. Now, the formula that I always recommend to my parents is to use what I call, and actually not what I call, I found this in a game. It was called the Power Talk formula. And basically the breakdown of it is when you ... this undesirable behavior, it causes ... these undesirable results for you, right? And I know that's not your intention, or some version of that. So please ... new behavior or expected behavior, better behavior, however you want to name it. But if I were to give an example of that, it would be when you yell at me, it makes it more difficult for me to hear what you're saying to me. And then I really can't process it. And I know that's not your intention. I know you really want me to hear you. So please try saying it in a calmer tone, lower voice. And so it's simple. And I know that can feel very frustrating in an upset moment. But the more you become attached to the formula, the more you will find that you're reacting according to your own truest intentions. Because again, if they're yelling and then we in turn yell and we're all up in arms, then what ends up happening is we escalate them further, which is the furthest from our goal. Our goal is to calm them down. And so we have to remember what we need to do in order to get what we really want out of the interaction.
And what's interesting about that is with having a formula as you've described, which is a fill in the blank formula template, essentially, it's something that with practice, a parent can think of in the moment and go, okay, if they don't have the formula, it can be really challenging to find all those words and understand the psychology that's going on behind that.
Yes.
Is it psychology that's really coming into play here?
Oh, of course. And, again, I have to refer back to the other 2 because when you have a formula in place, it helps you to stay more calm in your interactions. When you're able to stay more calm in your interactions, you're able to promote peace. The peace that you say that you want, you're now giving the example of.
It all makes so much sense when you look at it from a 1, 2, 3 standpoint, as you've described. And I love this philosophy. I think the work you do, not only is it amazing what you do, but it's just so crucial and so important and so helpful to parents, because these are strategies. That's really what these are. These are strategies to help them cope with what can be sometimes difficult situations that we're talking about here. So Lafaya, thank you so much. I know you've got books. I know you have trainings. I know you've got all these great things that you provide. If a parent wanted to actually get on the phone with you, could they do that, and how would they?
So the best way to get all the information you need about me is to visit my website, lafayaway.com.
Perfect.
Lafayaway.com we have our contact us page, and it includes my email, my phone number. I'm very, very open to the old school way of communicating. So call me, text me. But then also you can reach me if you're more techie and you love the social media piece, then you can reach me through Facebook at lafayaway.com. You can also get free education through YouTube if you just want to learn a little bit more about what it is I teach. YouTube at Lafaya Way.
And as a note, please check out the other videos in this series so that you get the full scope of this philosophy that Lafaya has created. Thank you so much, and really appreciate the work and insights that you've shared today.